Hi everyone, this is Ryan Boyle, and in this first chapter I'm going to show you how I go about designing and creating some of the cartoon characters that I use in some of my most recent animations. I'm going to design here a zombie superhero, and so we're going to make him kind of worn out, very skeletal-like. As you can see, I laid down my background color first. This will help, as I'm designing the head and the arms and the clothing, this will help make sure that the colors I choose for the character will help make the character pop from the background itself. So as you can see, I'm just using very simple shapes to create the boots and the underwear and the logo and the arms and the head. I like to use Illustrator for some of these cartoons, mostly just because it's vector and I can scale these up any size I want, even in After Effects. It keeps the vector form of my shapes. So this way I can work at an HD quality, or if I want to, I can go higher. So one of the things you'll notice too that I'm doing is I'm breaking up all the different body parts into different layers in Illustrator. This way when I bring the character into After Effects, I can manipulate the arms and the torso differently. I can rotate the arm and move it separately from the actual body itself. So this will make animation a lot easier if you break down all of your character's attributes into different layers. So since this character is a zombie character, you notice I kept the palette very washed out, very kind of murky, nothing really too bright. I want to appear like a zombie character here, and I'm drawing some rips into the clothing to make it look like maybe he just came from the grave, maybe he just rose after being decayed after, who knows, maybe he's been dead for like, maybe like a month or so. So I want to make it look like, he's been dead for a while. He's seen some wear and tear. Alright, so once we finish up with our illustration in Illustrator, we'll move on to After Effects. So what we're going to do is import the Illustrator file as a composition, and when we double click on that, here we go. We have all of our Illustrator files set up and in the right order that we created them. So the first thing we're going to do is make sure that everything is aligned properly. If I rotate my arm right now, you see it aligns from the anchor point, which is in the center of our comp. So what I need to do is I need to move this anchor point to the shoulder, and I'm going to go ahead and set the anchor point for the torso down here, and I'm going to hit rotate now on the arm, and now you can see it rotates from the shoulder rather than the center of the composition. And now what you're going to do is make sure that you set all the other anchor points for the other body parts to their correct position, depending on where you want it to rotate from. So make sure the arms are set to the shoulder, make sure the leg is set to the very top of the leg, and make sure the torso is set more at the bottom around like the belt area, and the head around to the base of the neck. So you can see I created a couple extra shapes here. These are actually different mouths that I created, so I'm going to go ahead and group them into one giant pre-comp. And I'll come back to this later, but I'm going to use this for my lip syncing. Alright, so next what I'm going to do is make sure that everything is layered properly. Going to move the anchor point for the cape here It's still a little bit in the center. I'm just going to kind of move the cape over to the side here because I don't want it to be look like it's flapping in the wind right now. I'm going to animate that a little bit later. Let's move the anchor point up near the shoulder. So there we go. And now what I want to do is, as you can see when I move my body, it just moves on its own. So I need to parent all the other limbs like the arm and the head and stuff like that to the body itself. So this way when I move the body, all the other body parts will move along with it. So you can see I'm just kind of taking the pick whip and I'm just kind of dragging those over to the body itself, or I can select it manually through the pop-up window right here. And I'm going to do the same thing too. I'm going to make sure that the eyes and the mouth is parented to the head, and then I'm going to make sure the head is parented to the body. So this way when I rotate the body, the head moves, but it doesn't move the eyes. Only when I move the head will the eyes and the ears and the mouth move. So there you go. So now when I rotate the body, you can see the arms and the head and everything move. I'm just going to adjust the anchor point for the body just a little bit lower. And just move it down just a little bit more. This way you don't see the top of the leg sticking out when the body rotates. There we go. But there you go. That's the basic setup for a character in After Effects after you've created an Illustrator.